The Adventurer's Guide to Successful Escapes by Wade Albert White. At age 13, Anvil is preparing to leave St. Lupin's Institute for perpetually wicked and hideously unattractive children. She's neither wicked nor hideous, but with no knowledge of her family or origin, she has little hope of fulfilling her dream of entering a Quest Academy. Her hopes of escape are dashed, however, when the evil matron conspires to keep Anne at the orphanage for another year. A rash midnight escape attempt results in Anne suddenly and unexpectedly becoming a leader of the rightful heir quest. With her best friend Penelope and a new companion named Hero to help her, the trio set off on a high-stakes race against the clock. If you like humorous fantasy like Artemis Fowl or adventure quests like Percy Jackson, give The Adventurer's Guide to Successful Escapes a try.
Making Friends by Kristen Goodsnook is a graphic novel about a girl named Danny who, now that she is in 7th grade and her two best friends from 6th grade are in a different class together, she's kind of on her own. But she inherits a magical sketchbook from her aunt. And once she figures out that anything that she draws in this book comes to life, she decides to make herself the perfect best friend. But be careful what you wish for, because things don't always turn out according to plan.
The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes is the story of a boy named Saint Obispo who is unknowingly the descendant of Mayan gods. And it is a story that is full of action and adventure and mythology and a really cool dog. So if you like any of those things, and especially if you're a fan of Percy Jackson or Arusha Land of Time, you will love this book.
The Serpent Secret by Sayantani Dasgupta. On her 12th birthday, Karan considers herself an ordinary 6th grader. But then her parents disappear, and a drooling Rakosh demon shows up in her kitchen, and she's swept away into another dimension full of magic, princes on winged horses, and talking birds. Karan needs to sort it all out, find her parents, and oh yeah, save the world. If you're a fan of Percy Jackson or Arusha, check out The Serpent Secret. And if you've already read this one, the sequel just came out.
Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake opens with Ivy Aberdeen's house being razed to the ground by a tornado. So her family has to go stay in the emergency shelter at the school gym. And while she's there, all of the other displaced families are there too. Ivy sneaks off to the library one night where she memorizes a poem on the wall by Emily Dickinson called My Letter to the World, and meets this girl, June. Ivy and June become friends, and this is the story of just kind of Ivy having to deal with all of the stress of her house, her new friend June, figuring out what her feelings for June actually are. And it's a really sweet book, and if you love books about feelings, this is the book for you.
The Book Scavenger by Jennifer Chambliss Bertman is a wonderful book for anyone who likes Mr. Limoncello's Library, because it's a fun mystery about a girl who moves to San Francisco. She plays this game called The Book Scavenger, and it is all about her and her friend who go on this adventure to try to find the missing creator of the game. So it's a really cool, fun adventure story.
The Survivors Club, the true story of a very young prisoner of Auschwitz by Michael Bornstein and Debbie Bornstein-Holstadt. In 1945, in a now famous piece of archival footage, 4-year-old Michael Bornstein was filmed by Soviet soldiers as he was carried out of Auschwitz in his grandmother's arms. He survived for 7 months inside Auschwitz, where the average lifespan of a child was just 2 weeks. The Survivors Club is his story, which Bornstein never told before. He was compelled to tell his story after he saw this photo of him from his release of Auschwitz being used on the website of a Holocaust denier. If you're interested in the Holocaust, you can check out the Survivors Club, or there's also The Boy on the Wooden Box on your summer reading list as well, which is the story of the youngest survivor of Schindler's List.
In The Parker Inheritance by Varian Johnson, Candace is having to spend the summer in Lambert, South Carolina, in her grandmother's old house. She is from Atlanta, but because her parents are getting divorced, they are remodeling their Atlanta house so that they can sell it. So she's spending the summer in Lambert. When she gets there, she is going through the attic looking for books to read and uncovers this letter that had been sent to her grandmother about a fortune hidden somewhere in the town. Now this fortune is something that her grandmother ruined her career over looking for, and everyone thought that she was just a crazy old bat. But Candace believes that the treasure might be real. And so with her new friend Brandon from across the street, they go on a treasure hunt to unravel the mystery and clear her grandmother's name.
Every Month is a New Year by Marilyn Singer. It's one of my absolute favorite nonfiction books because it tells you the story, kind of how every single month is a celebration of a new year for various cultures around the world. So you can like flip through and see that there are 2 Russian New Years in December and January. So fun things like that go throughout this entire wonderful book.